Hello and welcome to today's video. We'll be building a modern looking task manager app using React. Our application will be inspired by Dark Theme Discord, and how our application will work. It will be very simple input value where you can set a task, for example, do homework. And by adding task, you will have it. You can done complete, undo, and also delete. So you will learn quite a lot. To start building our application, we will need to create our React application. You can do that by npx create react app and dot when you are inside that folder. I just done it before. To not wait, you have to first of all install that npx. If you don't have it, when you just press enter, there will be question if you would like to install it. Then you press yes or W Y, sorry, and press enter and everything's work correctly. The next thing that will help us will be some styling that we will add to SRC. As I said before, we'll be using styled component and we have to also install it. So install styled components. Remember that we have to styled with D now at the end. Also bootstrap and React-bootstrap because we will be using that as well. And we have to wait some moments till it will be installed. In that time we can delete unnecessary files, so setup test, we can just delete it. Okay, we just misspelled that, component.e, and do it again. We can delete logo, report with vitals, and inside the win index.js we can delete it, and also that line. Okay, we can also delete that test, we don't need it, and go to our app.js, and inside that folder we can delete everything. We can delete everything. And the things that we need, first we will be using state with React to handle our changing of state in our React application. So we import it. Then we need container that we will get from our React Bootstrap as we are using it. Then we need styled because we are using styled components, and we will just write down some style also over here. Styled components. Also we will have some kind of task form that we'll need to create later on. It will be inside components. I will tell you why we are doing it right now. Then we also need task list that we will just also get it from components. And the last one is global style, that we've got our style. You will have that global style available to download in the description. So how is it working? It's creating the global style for the whole application. So each file that we have that will be task list or task form will be handled from that as well. Okay, so first we will create some style to finish and do not touch it again. It will be very simple style because it will only handle our container to be at the middle of our file. So ternary operator. So we need some quotes. Inside of quotes we need max width, height. We also need display as a flex because we need to specify content and align items to make it centered horizontally and vertically. Okay, so it will be at the center of our application. Okay, so move on. The first thing we need to declare our application, and we need to handle and make some kind of variable that will handle our tasks, and also set tasks as we are using state. So the state will change and we have to handle it by the use state. Why we are using array? Because there will be a lot of tasks that we can add, and it will help us to create adding, for example, changing the completion, if it's complete or not. So toggle complete, some kind of that, and delete task, because arrays in JavaScript help us do it without any problems. So to add task, we'll create very simple function. It will be set task. First, we need to copy our task that is over here. We are right now making copy, and at the end adding our task. That's not a big deal to make everything clear, but when we are going to the next thing, we set toggle complete. So we will check by ID if something is done. What will be our ID? I will tell you it will be date now, because it's quite unique when you are adding the task. It will be different to each of them. So you don't have to care about that at all. So first of all, we need to set tasks. So we are setting the task right now by that state. Go through all the task, and if map the through whole task, if task.id equals ID, then we need to do something, because we need to check if that task is complete or not. So if it's complete task, we need to make a copy of that task, only that task, because we need to get to the completed. That will be the case inside our form, and make it opposite the current state. So if we have completed to false, it will change to true, and add another way. If not, we return the task and leave it as it is. We do not touch it. And to be honest, it's all. And by that, the toggle will help us and work as we would like to. Okay, the last thing, we need to delete task by ID and set tasks, and that's very easy, because only thing that, as you know or do not, arrays got something like filter that will filter the things that does not work with our task. So filter goes, I will show you, through whole tasks that we've got over here. So we've got, for example, 5 tasks. Check if task.id is that does not equal to our task. If it is, it will just filter it out and it will be deleted. That's quite also obvious. To be honest, when you're just going through the tasks and array again, array is the most complete for me, and I think that's the most important thing in JavaScript, because you can do a lot of magic using only that things. I mean, filter, map, and you can create a lot of things. So we need to, as we are using React, return something. We can return nothing, but we can return something. So first of all, we are using global styles, and we have to import it. We have to get it to let our global style work on our whole file. The next thing, we created our style container. That will be our bootstrap container. Okay, and inside that container, so it will be centered, we need some div with class name, task manager container, and inside that class manager you will have, for example, I don't know how you can task manager, and we'll close it. It will be our application that will be running over here, and the next things will be, we'll be commenting that task form. Task form will be the next thing, And the last thing will be task list, but we'll make it work later on. So to work it later on, to make it work, we need to create a folder. As we write down, it will be in the folder components. And inside that folder, first we will create our form, task form.js. And inside that form, you will see what we will handle and what we will do. So what we need here, we need to import, also use state, because we will handle our inputs. And the next thing will be form and button from React-bootstrap. And to be honest, that's the all things that we have to get there. Okay, so we create our task form, and we will need to handle something that will return as onSubmit, because we will submit some functions that will be our props that we will pass. So we create constants, task and set task. It will be our input handle, and it will be as an empty string. Okay, the next thing that we need to handle our submit button. So when we submit, we won't like to handle the functions. And remember, when we are submitting form, it will reload our page. So we have to get to the events, and inside that event, we have to prevent default that default thing that is reloading the page. Okay, and on submit, we will pass task and set the task to empty value. So nothing will be inside of it. And the last thing that we have to do is return and create a return and create our form. Okay, and on submit, of course, we need to create submit. We'll handle submit. Okay, inside that form, we need to form that group. That will be our control ID. We can call it task. Inside our group, we will have control. So I mean form.control, and it will be self-closing. Why is it not self-closing right now? I don't know, but we'll handle it. Write that. So type text. The next thing that we need is a placeholder, and we can call it enter task. The next very important thing is value. Remember that we want to be the same as task over here, so it will be task. And the last thing on change, so on each change we have to get the value and set task to that value, the target value. And with that in mind, we've got almost everything done, but before that we need also button. That will be variant, for example, success, and it will be type of submit. Type of submit have to be because we would like to submit our form. So add task will be over here. And with our form, that's all. The next thing, as you can see, we have to import first. Export, sorry, default task form here. The next thing that we need to do is our task list, but our task list will contain task items. So task list and also task item. And first we can go through the task list. So in our task list we'll need only a few things. First, we would like to have this group from React-bootstrap, as you can see, and also task item that we will create later on. It is inside of that folder also. And cost task item, it will need some props. First it will be tasks that will be there, toggle complete, we'll check if it's complete or not, and on delete, and it will send if the file our task is deleted or not. So we need to only the return, so we will show our users the tasks that are available over here by task list, and inside our list group we will go and map through our tasks. So we will create the task item. So here it will be task, and inside the task we will go and return. Remember that it have to be normal braces, not curly braces, because it will not work. And task item will pass some prop. Key is very important prop for React, so you have to make it unique, and in our case is task.id. Task equals task, so we will pass the one task over here. The next thing is on toggle complete, and we'll pass, of course, on toggle complete. And on delete we will also pass on delete, and it will be self-closing. The last thing that we'll need is exporting that. So export default task list. Okay, and if with that in mind, we almost done everything. The last thing that we have to create is task item. The item will show each of the tasks that we will create. So in our case, we only have to import two things: list group, okay, and also button. So we will handle some kind of toggle change or on delete. So we create our task item, we get our props, task on toggle complete, and also on delete. Okay, and with that in mind, we return some kind of task, and we need to, as we've got over here list group, we are inside our list group but item. So we create item, and the first thing that we would like to have is our div with class name, and it will be very interesting because we have to handle it in some case. We have to create class name. It will be not normal class name. Okay, Siri, I don't need you. It will be not normal class name. It will handle some kind of checking if task not complete. So we will check if task is completed. As you know, we've got that in mind. We will be able to make complete, or if it's not, we will leave empty string. It will help us to get our task or completed style from our global style, and it will be handled over here. So over here in the next of our text title, we'll be able to see if our task title, so our task will be crossed, I mean line through, we'll have line through, so it will cross that is done or not. And also the next thing that will handle if it's done or not will be button, that will variant also success, because it will be success for us that will done something on click, and we'll handle on toggle complete, and we'll pass task.id. But as you know, we are passing task, and in the task we've got task.id that we are created over here. But the one thing that I just forgot to make over here is that on submit it will be much more bigger file, because we need data now over here Also, we need our text as task and completed as false as the value that we'll have. Also, we can check if there's no task, we'll just return to make it work faster and better. And to be honest, that's all that we need to change over here, because I forgot about that. And right there we create our button, we pass our props and check if task completed. If it is, then undo. If it's not, we can have button with text completed. The next button, sorry, next button will be variant danger, because there we will be able to delete our task. So on delete, we'll pass prop to prop task ID, and inside we'll just write delete. And the last thing that we need is export default task item. And right now you will think, okay, that's enough. No, because we have to do something more. We have to go to our app.js, and right there we have to complete our task form and task list comments. So beside our task form, we have to create a task form as our component that we just get from components, and on submit we'll only handle a task. That's all, and we handle our task. But if we are talking about our task list, we have to pass our whole tasks that will be visible for our users, and also on toggle complete that will handle toggle complete, and the last thing on delete that will handle delete task, and it will also be self-closing. Self-closing should be over here. Okay, and the thing that we have to do is npm start. Wait a few seconds till our application will run. It's our whole old application. We have to wait. If everything's okay, we'll wait. And as we can see, something's missing. We do not export our application. So export default app. Okay, the next thing that we just have to change is where with our task. Okay, node date. Okay, and task item has been already declared. Add our task list. Task item, task list, of course, and it should work as we have. So it is our task manager, as we call it. Do homework over here, add task, and something does not work. What is not working? I guess that we've got some kind of problem over here, because we've got not title but text. So you have to change it inside our task item, task.title to task.text, because I changes over here on submit. So if we make complete, we need to also change something, because our application does not work. That's very good for us, because we need to check if everything's work as it should. Okay, so we know that our on-toggle complete is passed over here, and we can check if it's the same as we passed over here, and everything's correct. Everything should work as we would like to. We pass it over here, and inside our button we check if it's complete, and we passing our task ID, and it's not working as we would like to. But why? That's a very good question. If you know how to solve it, I will leave it right there. I'll let you do that. So if you go through the whole file and you still don't know why our homework does not cross over here, we have to go deeper. So inside our global style, we've got completed with the D at the end. And with that, we can track if it's completed or not, and also delete and add new task. And that's all for that episode. I hope you like it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like, and see you at the next episodes. Bye.